Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So I'm going to revisit one of these segments that I haven't done in quite some time, my bold prediction for a YCS video. We all know that YCS Toronto is going to be happening over the weekend, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and what I think is going to win the event, and you know how I think that the top 8 is going to break down. Now, so many people get enamored with the actual prediction of what I think is going to win, and oh my god, Capital G, what if you're wrong? Well, I mean, I guess if I'm wrong, I'll just shut my channel down because, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? You know, I never get too wrapped up in being wrong or right. You know, I didn't get the 20,000 subscribers by being wrong or right. You know, I just hope that I'm interesting. Like, to be honest, that's all I care about. I don't care about being wrong or right. I just want to be interesting. Anyways, I'm predicting Evil Swarm to win. They just had a really strong showing in the first tournament in Japan that had the new September list. I do know that I'm comparing apples to oranges, but you know, Evil Swarm should win this event because Ophion is still a bitch and a half to deal with. You know, sure, the deck lost one copy of Rescue Rabbit, but that's pretty much it. You know, Evil Swarm's direct competition from last format is a hell of a lot weaker. You know, Dragon Ruler, Plant Ruler hybrid deck. You know, I mean, that deck is really easy to beat with Evil Swarm. The match is definitely in Evil Swarm's favor, and the Spellbook match, I mean, God, Spellbooks is just, right now, it's a far cry from that behemoth of a deck that it was last format. And if people are going to be playing High Priestess again in the deck, I mean, that just kind of plays into the hand of Ophion dot deck, commonly referred to as Evil Swarm. So, you know, that match probably got a little bit better, and then obviously you don't just auto lose if they open with Spellbook of Judgment, because guess what? There's no more Spellbook of Judgment. Now, I think that Karakuri and Heradic are both incredibly explosive decks. I think they're actually going to see some play at this event, but they're pretty much just auto lose to Ophion. So, you know, those decks really shouldn't be any problems for Evil Swarms. Now, on the other hand, Fire Fist, Constellar, and Infernity are decks that are obviously not hurt by Ophion as much. And, you know, with the best traps gone, I think that a lot of people are going to be main decking multiple copies or maxing out on Phoenix Chain, and I believe that that's probably going to be the saving grace of Evil Swarm against those matchups, because, you know, a deck like Infernity, if they're trying to go off turn 1 and you have a Phoenix Chain and they don't have like an MST, they're pretty much done. Now, speaking of Infernity, I actually feel that that is the biggest threat to my prediction. Like, I feel like the deck speed, and especially with Transmodify, which is just... that card is a little crazy because, you know, having the ability to summon a Necromancer, get an Archfiend from Necromancer's effect, then launch Necromancer, get yourself another Archfiend, and then potentially play like a Lancer and just go the fuck off. I mean, that is just nasty. I'm talking that porn that you only watch when nobody else is in the house nasty. I mean, that deck is it's definitely a contender for one of the 3 or 4 best decks in the format right now. I think that as far as the rest of the event goes, because I think that we're probably going to see an Evil Swarm versus Infernity mirror match, because I feel like Infernity are just going to kind of sneak up on everybody. But, you know, it's one of those decks where a lot of the sided cards kind of hurt the deck. You know, Maxi and, you know, Shadow Mirror, just all those things that disrupt it, like Macrocosmos and so on and so forth. But anyways, for the rest of the event, I think that Dragon Rulers will top 8. It might be a combination of Dragon Ruler or Plant Ruler hybrid deck. Something running a whole lot of E-Dragons, like 12 E-Dragons, I think is going to top 8. I think there will be at least 2 Evil Swarm decks in top 8. I think Infernity is obviously going to top 8 because, you know, again, I have Infernity in the finals versus Evil Swarm. I definitely see Gadgets in top 8 because the deck just got more consistent with the third duality. And, I mean, it pretty much is not on anybody's radar. And, you know, they've got the whole... the little Shadow Lizard, Kage thing. So, you know, they can make a whole bunch of decent plays right now. I also think that I'm picking my dark horse right now as Karakuri. If Karakuri can stay away from Evil Swarm, like, that deck is stupid fast. Like, early on last format, when, you know, that deck was kind of like teetering on tier 1, you know, a lot of people disregarded it because, you know, Evil Swarm came out and Ophion just took a shit on the deck. But outside of Evil Swarm, because of Ophion, which again is a bitch of a card, I feel like Card Courier, you don't really have a lot to fear this format. I mean, they can pretty much just outspeed and outpace any deck that they want to. Obviously, the OTK potential is still there because they can just flood the field with Beretos and Berets. They can activate Defusion and draw a whole bunch of cards at the same time that they're doing it. I mean, they can make the Naturia, Synchros, Beast, Barkion for the appropriate decks. You know, play against Dark World, make Beast auto win. Play against TGs, make Barkion auto win. So, I mean, the deck has a whole bunch of different dimensions to it. The defense is obviously still a problem, but I feel like Card Courier is pretty good. And again, their OTK tool, known as Limiter Removal, it escaped Konami's Watchful Eyes. So, you know, that's always something that will just add to the deck's power. I feel like we're going to have a pretty diverse top 8. So, yeah, if you guys are going to this event, play Evil Swarms. Make me right, even though I really don't care about that. And if you can hear me out there, Canada, good country that brought us such things as half a dozen professional hockey teams, Maple Syrup, the rapper Drake, one ridiculously overpaid MLB team that is currently in last place in the AL East, and Keanu Reeves. Canada, win this one for Cap. You know what? On second thought, all those things fucking suck. Look, Evil Swarm players, go out there and win this one because I told you to.
Win this one because I told you to.
Because you told me to!
Subscribing makes life happy.